Oh dear. Well, first of all, you have to excuse me. As you can see, or if you can't tell, I've got a bit of a cold. It's been quite windy over here in the UK at the moment. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's been happening recently. And once again, TB is basically in a bit of a... once again, I'd say the circle of what, unfortunately, and we'll get into this later, but we'll get into this now, but basically what's been happening. Basically, TB did a video on a game called Guise of the Wolf. What is Guise of the Wolf? Well, it's a very interesting concept, but unfortunately, interesting concept does not a good game make. And the idea is that you are a person who can turn into a werewolf, and that you use your back and forth transformation to do different things. But unfortunately, it was very terrible, the game. The stealth system was horrible. The AI in it was virtually non-existent. There are loads of videos on it, just how bad it was. And TB, being pretty much the biggest, I'd say, gaming channel on YouTube, probably, or at least probably the most well-known guy on YouTube for gaming, basically slammed it, and justly, because it's quite terrible. It's one of these games that basically makes you ask, why aren't Steam doing a quality control to make sure that when stuff is going on to green light, that it actually has a good baseline to be sold? So, well, what happened? Well, the company Funcom decided to file a DMCA against him and giving him a second strike on his account, possibly. Now, this has happened before with the Gary's Day 1 incident. So TB sent an email to Funcom saying, what's going on here? My video is protected under, criticism. You have no right to do what you're doing. May I remind you of the Gary's Day 1 incident? Please, rescind your claim. Well, they sent back an email saying, ha 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 ha, screw you, we're not going to. And instantly TB went, okay then, and basically shared a photo of the email. And instantly Funcom basically replied saying, oh, this is a Photoshop job, this isn't real. And then TB responded with basically a video proving that the video was real. Proving that the email was real. So what did Funcom do? Well, Funcom responded by basically photoshopping a TB an application to EA, and it's just like, here's the thing, they've been caught with the pants down, and I think they're really trying to brush it off, and part of me really hopes TB takes them to court over this, because quite frankly, if they're doing basically this on purpose, then they deserve pretty much everything they get at this point in time. But unfortunately, this seems to be becoming a trend from the indie developers that, particularly the ones that make a bad game, basically think that they can censor any of the negative criticism and try and basically nip it in the bud. So hopefully, as I've said, this has happened twice so far. It may have happened with a couple of other games, I don't know, but hopefully this doesn't become a regular occurrence. Every time there's a bad game gets published, the developer goes around and basically takes down every single negative video. And this is partly why I hope that TB basically goes and sues them. Because basically it'll be a lesson to the developers. You can't do this. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. But if this resolves and they take it down, well, they should come forward and say, hey, we filed a false DMCA, our bad. But if TB takes them to court, he has very good grounds to sue them. The other option is that this could basically be somebody pretending to be Funcom to basically get rid of TB. Basically, at the end of the day, there's you don't know. Like I say, I think at the moment it possibly is Funcom because they're putting two very different sides out. Because on their Steam forums, there's a lot of saying, "Oh, we support TB in this," but on their Twitter, they're very, very blasé about it and being TB. It's just a Photoshop job. It's just like, I don't understand, because Mundane Matt put it forward that any publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad. But at the end of the day, this is just hurting them. Because as far as I'm concerned now, any game they possibly have some involvement in, I'm not interested in, because Guise of the Wolf was their first game, was awful. Like I said at the beginning, a good concept does not a good game make, and it's a perfect example of it. So we'll have to see what happens, but part of me thinks this is just going to get resolved. In the extreme case, it might get taken to court, which will be hilarious. But I think this is just going to get resolved at the end of the day.